God is good, and all the time. Yes, today is a difficult day, very difficult. In all my imagination, in all my thinking, I've never imagined that one day I'll bury my small brother. Anytime we talked about death a few times with Kevathi, and my siblings will bear me witness. I was telling him, Kevathi, when I die, I want to be buried in 24 hours. And I meant it. Last Christmas, I told him, one thing I know for sure is that you are going to bury me. And Kevathi had this habit. If you told him something, he would nod his head vigorously. But if he does not answer you, he will not do what you are telling him. I learned that over the years. And it was many, many, many years. Those days when we were born, used to take children, I don't know why, 2 to 3 days before they open their eyes. The young babies. So the person who is immediately older, who was me, our mom would tell us, you sit here with the baby, the minute he opens his eyes, you come and tell me. So of course I was there when he opened his eyes. And throughout our lives, I've always told him, Kevathi, the first thing you saw in this world was my face. And by the grace of God, again, when he closed those eyes, I was there. And I'm standing here wondering. Kevathi was my brother, but as anybody will tell you, he was also my best friend. We were very intimate. And I don't know what to say. What can you say in a few minutes about a life that spanned 71.5 years? I can only agree with everybody about Kevathi's character when he was small, except they didn't say he was defiant and mischievous. That he was. And as Shiro said, our mother taught us that you are responsible for the person who follows you. So all my issues, even today, I'll take them to my big brother, Joe Mathia. And once I get there, it's up to him to deal with it. If he can't, then he escalates it to our older siblings, Mheshimiwa Gengi and Beth. I will not take those issues to them. He will. So I was in charge of Kevathi. It was a roller coaster of our life. A roller coaster of our life. So he was also in charge of the small girls. And as we grew up, I used to listen out to two things. Either hilarious laughter, as he told them, the girls, his stories. Of course, 3/4 were fiction. Or terrified screams from the girls. And Kevathi, since he was more, Kevathi has this knack of being everywhere at the same time. We used to share a bedroom when we were boys, and Kevathi would wake up at the crack of dawn, go across the ridge, beat up a boy, come back and go to bed. So the mother of this child will come screaming, Kevathi have just beaten so and so, and mom will scream and say, no, Kevathi is still asleep. Kongo, where is Kevathi? I say, he's still in bed. Until, of course, later I learned those tricks. So Kevathi was, I don't know what to say, but he's always been fun to be around. And we grew older, we became teenagers, and he ventured into Nairobi. Even before me, we had, my father had matatus. And they used to sleep at home, and then the drivers would come and pick them up in the morning. There were I don't know, 2 or 3 Pujo station wagons. And Kivadi learned to open the boot and sleep in the boot and then cover himself with that. And the drivers will come and start the car and take off with Kivadi inside. So once they get to Ruiru, then he will surface. And now the driver has to be nice, because if father finds out that he has taken Kivadi, so Kivadi, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what to say. Kivadi was a heartful. And we became young adults. He decided to become a modern day Mau Mau. He grew some Rastafari and some hairs. And Kivadi terrorized this town. Kivadi was slim-bodied, very slim, those who know him. Me, I was in the military, but Kivadi, God had gifted his body with a lot of strength. He was very, very strong. And his arms were bigger than his body. And Kivadi drove terror in some people in this town with his fighting. And as his sister said, it didn't matter. If he found his friend fighting or his relative, he would join the fight on the opposite side. I remember one day he found us in Abro at Gara. That time we were young people, those people who are our age. That was the life. People used to fight all the time, young men. So he found this thing going on. And there was a jiko with some getheri boiling on top of the jiko. And he picked up getheri and threw it at somebody. And this guy grabbed the pot. So that was Kivadi. And then we became young adults. And Kivadi was late in getting married. Because those days, once you become 26, 27, then your mother starts sending your aunties, you know, so-and-so's daughter, she looks so beautiful, she's hardworking. So you start getting the messages. And Kivadi, you have heard from his wife, he married when he was 33. And that was late in those days. So for a long time, again, he used to stay in my house. He turned my guest room into his. He had his house in Nairobi West, and he used to tell me, and who am I going to talk to? So he was always in my house, and that's how, as Duta explained, when he got shot, I was in the military myself. And after he took Duta out, then we met, we went to a club we used to call Chiromo, near Kepinski. I think it's where Kepinski is. And we stayed there until about 4 o'clock in the morning. Then we started hearing gunshots. And that day I was the duty officer, the military duty officer in Nairobi. And there were no phones, there were no mobiles. So I thought, Kivadi, let's go home. I find out, because my military Land Rover was in my house with my men. So we went, he had left his car there. And these guys briefed me, they told me there's an attempted coup, whatever, you are wanted in the office. So I told Kivadi, the first thing I asked him, where's your gun? And he told me, it's at home. I told Kivadi, there's a war. And the military is on the streets. It's not the police. You stay here until I come back. So me, I dressed in my uniform. I was in charge of the CBD. Then by about 10, we had neutralized whatever. And since I had not had a bath or breakfast, I decided to go home. So I went home, and my guest wing was downstairs. But as I came, my phone had not been working for 3 days. But as I got in, it rang. So I picked it up, and it was our mother. Our mother in Kivadi is another story I will tell you. She was I don't know. To our mom, Kivadi was Mwana. You know Mwana is a child until he was 50. So I picked up the phone. Hello, it's mom. Kongo, Mwana. Where is the baby? So I told her, Mom, I'm the one in the military. She said, no, but I have heard your voice, so I know you are okay. Mwana. So I told her, no, he is here. He's in bed. He's asleep. Call him. I want to talk to him. So me, I opened this door. Kivadi is not there. There's nobody in bed. And I didn't want to tell Mom because I didn't want her to panic. So I told her, Kivadi has locked the door. And we came this morning. We were out until morning. So I've told them to tell him to call when he wakes up. So the next thing, I thought I'll go and check on my big brother, Gengi, because he was in he was in government that time. He was a minister. So, and we didn't know who they were targeting. So I said, let me go and check him. So I got to his house, and the minute I saw him, I could see he's panicked. He told me, Kevadine Aradiro. What? Kevadine Aradiro. I said, how do you know this? He had a friend called Mark Harris, an American. Then Mark Harris told me, I saw it with my own eyes. We used to call it Bunyara Road, roundabout, the current Nyayo. He told me, I saw Kevadi being shot. I said, the Air Force was in blue, our guys were in green. So I said, were they in blue? He told me in green. So immediately, I had my communication, so I called whoever was commanding Wilson Airport. And he told me, so I told him who I am. He told me, come to Nairobi Hospital just now. So I asked him, how is my brother? And there's a language you use. I mean, if he tells you fetal, then he's dead. He says grievous injuries, GI. So he told me he is GI, so come. So I told my brother, let's go. So he came to Nairobi Hospital. So I asked that guy, what happened? So he told me, no, these guys came, we stopped them. Uniformed people can tell when you are scared. They can look at you. So they saw these people are with Wamokora. I don't know where Wamokora is. So Kevadi had left my house. Of course, he had lied to me. He had his gun. He holstered his gun, got into his car. He went looking for his friend. So they found a roadblock there. And so the car was searched, and the gun was found. And the uniformed people, when they see a gun, that's not theirs. And the military had no idea that civilians carry guns. So he was trying to tell them, I am licensed to carry a gun. And I said, who are you? How can you carry a gun? How? So he said, I have a license. Where is it? It's in my house in Nairobi West. So he was thrown onto the Land Rover. They went to his house. Fortunately for Kevadi, in his sitting room, the first thing you saw when you entered was my photo, a big portrait he had put there. So these people said, who is this? So Kevadi told me later, you know, I want to tell them about you, but I didn't know which side they were on, so I was scared. So they asked him, who is this? He said, that's my brother. Captain Mugai is your brother? Yeah. So that's when they rushed him to Nairobi Hospital. So Kevadi, you heard he went to prison. Kevadi, he was an activist. He was everything, all those things you have heard here. All they have not talked about is the bad side, defiance, mischief. So somehow they were discussing about overthrowing the government. I don't know where, so I will not explain. But somehow, the guy they were talking with was taping him. And in the process, Kevadi was very smart. Kevadi had the click of the recorder. So he knew this person is taping me. So he grabbed him. And they fought. Fortunately, they were drinking in a place where he had friends. So they beat up this guy. And Kevadi grabbed the recorder. So, as I have told you, I was responsible for him. His first port of call, Congo, I'm on the run. Now he's come to my house. I'm on the run. What is it? Government is chasing me. Within 3 hours, Kevadi was across the border in Tanzania. I sent him to a friend of mine. I told him, look after that. It's my brother. So we used to talk, Kivadi. And that time, his father-in-law, Duta's father, was a very good friend of James Kenyatta, who was in charge of intelligence. So we saw him. He said, okay, tell him to stay there for 2 weeks, to poesha hii maneno, then he can come back. After 10 days, the watchman comes and tells me there are some people at the gate, they're saying they're CID. He said, open for them. So these guys came, I know them. He said, oh, Captain, how are you? Mzuri sana. You know, your brother came this morning from Tanzania. We arrested him. We took him to court. And he's been put in for 6 years. I said, who? Kevadi. We talked last night. I told Kevadi, you stay put until I tell you to come. So I'm asking this guy, within 1 day, yeah, he's been in prison for 6 years. And now it's my duty to go and tell mom. About Kevadi going to prison, that's something else. But going to tell mom, she would go into shock. And she will not talk for about 2 days. But he was a lucky fellow. Our father used to get, when he refused, my father wanted him to continue with school. So he refused. Shiro, have I talked for too long? Sorry, people. But I must tell you this. So when he said he will not continue school, he was taken to our elder father, Mzee Kenyatta. He was the president. And Mzee was very, so he asked him, Kevadi, ono gekaragirwo githomo do girea. He said, eh, vava, di Korea. What do you want? I want to join the prisons. So our father said, so there are many things I can say about Kevadi. But before I sit down, I want to thank his children. They have really given. That's what I'm saying. Kevadi could be in a lot of places at the same time. He worked with our sister for many years in Taita, but he was there for his children. Somehow, I don't know, because the way you hear them calling them Fafa, that Fafa, I don't know when he saw them, but they are very close. Kevadi will come from Voi. How he found out, I don't know. So-and-so's mother is unwell. As my sister Beth was saying, not a relative, a friend's mother. He will come, pick her up, take her to hospital, then buy her medicine, do shopping for her, take her back to Githogori or someplace. Now, when he's leaving, he always traveled at night. Kevadi never traveled during the day. He always traveled at night. So in the evening, he will call me. Oh, Congo, I took so-and-so's mother to hospital. We got medicine for 3 weeks. They are getting finished. So he will call you, you go and buy the rest. Kevadi where? Then he disconnects his phone, and you don't hear him for 3 months. So Kevadi was many things to many people. All these people here, if you give them a pen and a paper, tell them to write about the man they have come to bid farewell, you'd think they have come to bid farewell to 10 people. Because everybody knows Kevadi in his own. And Duta, I must thank you. I don't know what kind of a wife you are, because I never married you, but as a mother, I must thank you. You've looked after your children. I know you said those times, and you know I was always there with you, so I know those times. But I must thank you in front of all these people for looking after those children. That I must say. So, as I told you, 71 and a half years, I can stand here and talk about Kevadi the whole afternoon. And I'm sorry if I have bored some of you, but you have to excuse me. Kevadi, go in peace. God loves you. That's why he took you. Mwana witũ thiĩ wega. No thiĩ ũkenanĩre na ngomi citũ cia mbere ya magana. Ũtweterere kinya rĩrĩa tũgagũkora. Thai, tata ya Ngai thai.
No, I'll take the microphone down and hold this one. Thank you so much, Uncle Kungu. We could be here the whole afternoon just listening to those stories. And as Uncle Kungu said, Uncle Kevathi could be in one place, very many, different places at the same time. So as a family, about 4 years ago, we agreed that we would spend Christmas Day together. So that's my mom's siblings and their families. And so last Christmas, I'm the one who is asked to call everyone. And I spoke to Uncle Kevathi, and he told me that he was at the mines. And he said he doesn't know because he's trying to protect his mines. There were some people who wanted his mines. But he said he would try and come. And then 2 days before Christmas, he called me again, and he said, I don't know, Shiko, but I'll do my very best. But on Christmas Day, while we were all there, Uncle Kungu was saying they had spoken. His car had broken down 2 days before. And on the day before Christmas, his car was still broken down. On the day of Christmas, I think it was at night, he just told his mechanic, I'm just leaving this car with you. And he went and he got on the SGR. And he came, went home, got his entire family that's here, and they came home for Christmas, and it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, the whole family was there, and everybody Yulu rated. Yulu, that one. And we were all so happy to see him. And I remember him saying to all of us, he said, there was nothing that was going to make him stop, not come for Christmas last year. So I really think maybe he had a prenomination that would be the last time. And as Auntie Beth says, he was really happy. He was so joyous. He was really, truly happy. He even spoke to the whole family, the young people. I hope you remember what your uncle and your grandfather said to you. But he really spoke a lot of words of wisdom. So we are grateful to God that he allowed us to spend Christmas with him.